Nothing compares to this. What a beautiful name it is, the name of Jesus. You didn't want heaven without us, so Jesus, you brought heaven down. My sin was great, your love was greater. What could separate us now? What a wonderful name it is. What a wonderful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ, my King. What a wonderful name it is. Nothing compares to this. What a wonderful name it is. The name of Jesus. What a wonderful name it is. The name of Jesus. Death could not hold you, the veil torn before you. You silenced the boast of sin and grave. The heavens are roaring, the praise of your glory. For you are raised to life again. You have no rival, you have no equal. Now and forever the reign. Yours is the kingdom, yours is the glory, yours is the name above all names. What a powerful name it is. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ our King. What a powerful name it is. Nothing compares to this. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus. What a powerful name it is.
Now it's my happy privilege to turn the service over to the hands of our pastor. Give her a great big amen as she comes.
Yes. Isn't the Lord good? It's good to be here tonight to worship him in spirit and in truth. We're happy for all of you, especially welcome to any visitors we may have. We're glad you're here tonight. God is continually blessing his people in spite of the devil and all he's doing. Yes, everywhere you look, he is. But God is too. So I'm thankful for that tonight. I don't know what I'd do without him. Grateful for the time that we have to worship him, to lift him up in praise. He's good, real good. Hold on a minute. Get situated here. Yes. I'm going to preach to you tonight. When the Lord spoke to me this past week and said the church has become prodigal. It left God, went a long way away. And because of that, we have such a bad situation. I look back and I think if the forefathers, my forefathers, could come back and see what has happened, they wouldn't believe it. It's like, is this for real? Yeah, this is for real. But when he said that to me this week, I went to the prodigal son and what he did and how he left his father. The church has left his father. We're not serving him. We say we are, but we're not. And so when I looked at this, I thought to myself, how many times have God reached out to us to pull us in? He said, oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, how I wanted to gather you to myself. I wanted to be there for you and bless you and all that. He said they would not. The same thing applies today. They will not. And you look at this thing, where are we going to go? You know, more and more we're seeing less churches that's preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ, less and less churches that can say that God is truly there. He's not in every place. I'm glad he's here. I'm glad he's here. Turn the air down some, please. We'll be bringing it up in a minute. And so it says, he went on a journey. The church is going on a journey. What the devil did, he enticed them to look at the journey. Look at what I can do for you. Look at what I can give you. And they followed him. You know what he did? He broke it in with the church little piece by little piece by little piece. Because the devil knows that if I just show up the way I really am, then for sure, nobody would be fooled. It's no mistaking the devil for who he is. And so when I look at that, I'm thinking, how did he gradually ease in a little bit of this? And they called them no harm things. And so you hear that over the years. It's really no harm. It's really not that much. You know, we're not in the old school. Go back to the old school. The old school is where it's happening at. The old school is where true holiness is, where true righteousness is. We need to be back in that place if we expect to have the move of God. We can't have it otherwise. Listen, it says, it comes a time in your life that is so quick to use up what the devil gives you. Because the devil don't give in abundance. He just gives you a little bit here, a little bit there, and keep trying to set you up and destroy you. The church is suffering, I say, from Alzheimer's. They're wandering around somewhere. They're lost. They don't know where they're going. They can't find their way. Because they have went so far, they don't know where they're at anymore. It's like, was this ever church? Is this what I was raised up with? Is this what God is all about? We missed it. We missed it. For the church to wander from hill to hill, from place to place. You find people say, I've been to every church in this town. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? Because I think that and after out there searching, they're searching for something and yet not know what it is. The song we used to sing, it said, all along life's journey, I was searching. I knew not what I searched for until I found Jesus, and then I knew I would search no more. If we can give the people the gospel, give them something they can hold on to, something they can draw from, something that's going to strengthen them, something that gives them joy unspeakable and full of glory. That's what the church is missing. The church has wandered a long way from God. Not just a few steps, but they went a long way away. And the scripture says, the church, as the prodigal did, he joined himself to other people. People that were wrong. You know what? You always think that things is better when you leave home. I tell you, it's better at home. It's better at home. I said when I was young, I just want to get out of here. I just want to get out of here and live my life. I thought my grandmother is old-fashioned. She ain't got a clue. She had a clue. I didn't have one. For sure. It didn't take me long to be out there and realize, wow, I didn't know the world was like this. Because we lived a protected, sheltered life. We went to church all the time. We wasn't over here and over there. You couldn't do it. I told him the other day, my grandmother whooped me to no end. I was out there playing baseball with some kids in the big open field out there in front of the projects. And I was out there playing baseball. And because there was some boys out there, I got the beating of my life. And she come down just as nice and quiet. Rosie girl, come here, baby. She talked quiet like that. You getting ready to beat the crap out of you. And I come up and she said, what are you doing? I said, I'm playing ball with everybody else. I'm not going to raise no whore. I'm thinking I'm playing ball, for God's sake. How you identify that with a whore? Get on up here. Grab me in the top of my head and pull me on in the door and begin to whoop my rear end. I'm still like this. How did I get a beating like that for playing baseball? Because there had been no boys out there. Boys are everywhere. You ain't going to never be in a place where you don't run into the opposite sex. Come on. But, oh, no. You don't be out there with them boys. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. See, I truly believe that we're in a place where we don't even recognize God anymore. We don't even know where he's at. We don't understand. We're estranged from him. Way away. So it says to a stranger to call someone to be no longer close or affectionate to God. Where there used to be love and affection. The church's love is for the world. And that alienates you from God. He said, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. For if you do, the love of the Father is not in you. So when I look at that, I'm thinking, okay, we become isolated. We're away from God, so far away. And when you talk to people now that say they saved and you listen to them, you think, do you know who he is? Too many. They've never had a real experience with God. They don't really know who he is. He's far off. The church has become the prodigal. Prodigal habits are hard to break. They're hard to break. So once the church drifted away, it's going to be very difficult for them to come back. But at this rate, they're not coming back. They don't want God. They like this thing this way. See, the prodigal is a person who leaves home and go a long ways away and begin to waste your life. Your life. We only have one. If we waste it, we have nothing. I tell you what I've got. I've been holding on to it for the last 53 years, and you couldn't pay me money to turn it loose. When you come this far, you come to the end of the road. You are more and more grateful that you've known God all this time, that you wasn't swayed by other people and situations. I never wanted to go back there. I never wanted to be in the world. Once I came out, I stayed out. Once I came out, I wanted to be out. I never wanted to be back. We got too many people that's looking back, and after a while you find yourself going back. No. But listen to this. Every person, the prodigal son did the same thing. He began to have rowdiest living. Just getting into all this stuff and partying and women and all this stuff. And that's exactly what we see today. The church is so involved in pleasure. Whatever makes the flesh happy, that's what they're proud of. That's what they feel good about. The flesh is feeling good. If the flesh feels good, you're off. Because the flesh has to be broken and put down and destroyed. If you don't destroy the flesh, it's going to destroy you. Crucify the flesh with its lust and its desires. Crucify it. If you crucify it, it won't control you. It's controlling you because you never crucified it. You got to put it in its place. You're not going to tell me what to do. We tease sometimes with my daughters when we have little names. We give ourselves the bad one who wants to don't work out and don't want to eat right and all this stuff. And so I tell Nisa, what did Delilah say this morning? Delilah says, you don't feel like it today. And so when I look at that, I'm thinking, that is a part of the flesh. It never wants to do anything that God wants it to do, ever. It always wants to do a thing different, no matter how you look at it. See? But the world, the church is looking for parties. They're looking for revelry, which is loud, noisy parties. That's what they want. They want to drink booze with everybody else and get high and all this stuff. It's sad. It's sad. Listen. Lasciviousness is sexual interest or expressing lust. There's so much. You've never seen the lack of sexual interest in your life. It's in the toothpaste commercial. It's in the Kellogg cornflakes. It's in this. It's in everything has something to do with sex. And the devil has literally destroyed people because of that. Now the prodigal son, you know what? When he left his daddy, he knew he was getting ready to have a good time. He knew that he was going to party it up, because no doubt at home he couldn't do that. No doubt at my home you better not think about doing it. And so here he goes out here, and right now he's feeling excited. I preached a message one time about the backslider is on a honeymoon. And the honeymoon is short-lived. And so when you first backslide, you say, thank God I'm out of that. I can do what I want to do and go where I want to go and all this stuff. It's short-lived. It's not long before you wake up and realize this is not working. It's not working, but we keep going after it. Understand this. When you get lost, you wonder, because you don't really have any particular goal or anything in your life that you're trying to go toward. So you get lost. And so now I've walked away from God, and I look at people on TV. I was listening to Creflo Dollar this morning talking about a 3-part series on how not to be depressed. You don't need 3-part series. You just need get Jesus. We don't need 3 parts. That's all you need. Get saved. And depression goes. Ain't no depression with God. None whatsoever. But look at this. I understand why David said, Lord, deliver me and forgive me for the sins of my youth. Every person in this room, when you were young, you were stupid. And sometimes old and stupid. But I'm telling you, without a doubt, we need to ask God, Lord, help me to walk this way and keep my head on straight. You know, once you kill the flesh, you don't have to worry about it looking any place it shouldn't look or do anything it shouldn't do. It's dead. You go to the cemetery and look at a body in the cemetery, you won't find them turning around looking at other bodies in the cemetery. They're dead. If they buried 10 women on top of a man, he would never be aroused. He's dead. If you're being aroused, you didn't die. You got to die to yourself, die to who you are, so that you can walk with God in the holiness and not find yourself over here and over there, and I'm fighting this, and I'm struggling. I'm having a hard time. My flesh. Kill it. When you kill it, you don't have problems with it. I don't go through no war with my flesh ever. Period. It's not happening. It is what it is. I'm either going to follow God or I'm not going to follow God. Simple as that. I'm either going to live holy or I'm not going to live holy. I'm either going to do it right or I'm not going to do it right. Well, see, what people don't like with being at home sometimes is that too many rules. We had a lady come to this church one time. She said, oh, I think it's a nice church, but y'all got too many rules. I thought the rules will keep you out of hell. You need those rules. Yes. I don't want to. Ooh, just too many rules. People are so used to being let loose and just let it all hang out. Church people are hanging everywhere, getting into some of everything, and still calling themselves saved. That's what's sad to me. Okay? But understand this. There's nothing worse than being lost. Even in the natural, if you get lost, that's a terrible feeling. I don't like going any place that I'm not sure where I'm going, because then I start looking around like, oh, well, how do I get out of here? Where's the right place? Where do I go? I want to get out. When you're lost and away from God, there's no hope for you. There's no hope. You can wander down the road if you want to, trying this and trying that. It won't work. The church, we're living in an hour when the church loves pleasure. They said they should become lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. We'd rather go on a cruise. We'd rather do this and just hang out and go over here and have a cookout and have this and have that. When it comes to prayer, nobody wants to pray. When it comes to fasting and seeking God, nobody wants to do it. We want fun. What did Israel do? The scripture said when they ate and drank, then they rose up to play. We just want to play, eat. Wherever food is, people full of foolishness. Before they eat, they're quiet. The minute they eat, it's just, what you think? I'm sure after this fast tonight, I'm sure you thinking, I'm so glad that we had some people here today. Sister Rose ain't gonna cause it to go on. Last Sunday night when I said we're not eating after church, it was this unbelievable sad look. And Regina said, well, I had my little snacks in the car. Oh, what a surprise. No. You need to push for it. Everybody should have been saying, thank you, Sister Rose, thank you. Are you kidding me? All day. I even got my stuff on the stove cooking. For after church. I got many plans. And I just tore them all up. But you know what? It's about feeding the flesh and not the spirit. The more I can feed the flesh, the happier I am. But the flesh is destructive. It is destructive. The more you feed it, the worse it gets. And so if you're gonna be able to get past that, you got to feed the flesh less and the spirit more. That's vitally important. And so I learned that early serving God. I learned that early. You know what? When people start wandering around going from place to place, they don't really, they're just kind of casual. Look at the preachers in the pulpit today. They dress in tennis shoes, jumpsuit. I'm thinking, what is wrong with these people? In my day, a preacher would not remove his coat in the pulpit. That's how much they honored where they were. They would be sweating, they would not remove their coat. These preachers done dumped the suit completely, standing up there talking in tennis shoes and a sweatshirt. That's the kind of gospel they're giving people. That same casual, laid-back gospel, that's what they're doing. That's why you see the clothes change. It's representation of where they are. It's representation that they're not in a good place. You say, well, it ain't about the clothes. Yes, it is. Well, before I got saved, I wouldn't come up here in the stuff I wore. Has a lot to do with the clothes. I thought when I leave home, I got to put on some shorts. My grandmother won't let us wear pants, no shorts, no nothing. As soon as I get out of here, I'm getting me some shorts. And got me some. And some pants and some more pants. Because at home, you wore nothing but a dress. I thought, no. I wouldn't come to church with shorts on, preacher. Yeah, you say, what's wrong with Sister Rose? Oh, I believe Sister Rose done lost it. Did you see that? You wouldn't even be able to get in the service if I walked out here in a pair of shorts. You'd be sitting like this. Wanting to say something, but won't. And looking around like, what's wrong? We could go on with service and clap and everything, and you still would be like, what's wrong? No, it does matter. I changed the way I dressed after I became a Christian. I definitely did. That stuff doesn't go. No, it don't go. And I wouldn't dare wear pants to my grandmother's house. When I left home, if I was going to visit her, I had to put a dress on. I know she would tell me, oh, honey, what are you doing? Because the old people slap you down grown. You didn't have to be a teenager. They'll slap you down grown. Boy, what are you doing? I used to wipe the lipstick off. I don't have to do that anymore. Lipstick is no sin, but in their day it was a sin. And when I got ready to go home, I just get that rag out and clean my lips real good. So I go in and look like this innocent little granddaughter, which I was far from innocent. I knew what I could take home and what I couldn't take. You better not do it. See? So a person that's wondering is just leisurely casual, the aimless. They don't have anything they're working toward. See? They move slowly around in a fixed point of place, from a fixed point of place. They don't stay in position. So they stray off. They start rambling without any definite purpose or objective. They're just going around. So what do you think about? Nothing? Where are you going? I don't know. And you have left. When you leave God, you wonder. You find yourself in a circle, going around trying to, what is? Every backslider that ever left this church, the honeymoon has ceased. It has ceased. Because you're looking, what did I do? Because I remember Sarah saying that. Sarah said, Rose, in the church, it's like you don't see it. When you leave, she said, wow. She said, you, all of a sudden everything comes crystal clear. I'm in a bad place. What did I just do? I just left God. If I leave God, I don't have nobody to help me. Nobody. So I'm just finding myself walking around. I don't have any real purpose anymore. Because when you're serving God, you got a purpose to serve God and to help others to come to him. I have no direction. I'm just kind of wandering around. When the prodigal son, after a while, he was blowing his life. Just blowing up everything. He had plenty of friends at one time. It's amazing how many people join with you, how many backsliders join together when they leave from here. They join. Well, it's only so long you can run me down in the church. After a while, it's like, well, is there any other new conversation? I done talked about her, talked about the church, talked about this, talked about that. And you know what? After a while, that runs out. And somebody said, I don't want to talk about it. I'm tired of hearing that. Is there any other subject? People get bored with it. See, not serving God means you're going to be bored. Extremely bored. Nothing is worse than being bored. You lose everything that you had spiritually, all of it. You can't take it with you. It's a part of your inheritance. And so when you lose it, when you walk away from God, you lose that. We got promises upon promises in the word for us that are good for us, that helps us. But you know what? Once you walk away, none of those promises apply to you. The inheritance is no longer yours. The inheritance are among those that are sanctified. You're not sanctified. See? You become destitute. Moral bankrupt. You have no morals no more. You find yourself doing things you wouldn't have done before. Saying things and going places and getting hooked up with men and women and all this stuff like you never did before. You find yourself doing stuff that you said, I would never do that. I'm into drugs. I was out studying this message. I was reading about the drug called ecstasy. People are looking for that high. That's what the prodigal found. That high for the moment, but you come down like Anissa was saying tonight. My pain was still there, and I was high as a kite. I'm just as high. It's supposed to take away the pain. It's just making you higher. It's almost when we were in the hospital getting ready to have our babies, and they give you some thing, make you like this, kind of in this strange thing. That pain is tearing your tail up. Are you looking crazy? You're in between here and there, but that pain is still real. It's still real. You can still feel it, and that's the way sin is. I mean, you try to drink it down and numb it and take this and take that. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. After a while, you find yourself just high, and it's not a real high. It's an artificial high. That's just there for the moment. When I look at where I could have been and where I am tonight, I wouldn't trade that. It is my life. It is why I live and breathe every day. Every day. I was saying, when I was younger, I could not understand the old folks talking about going to heaven and when the Lord comes back. And I thought, what are they talking about? Do you want to enjoy your life? Honey, but this ain't no comparison to where we going. There's no comparison. Oh, my God. Find yourself destitute in this state of confusion, not knowing how to fix it. You know, when you backslide, you can't bring yourself back because you have no power. So the devil is all over you. Here's the prodigal son. He's away from his father. I guarantee you it wasn't long before he ever got to the hall pen before he started thinking about, is this worth it? Is this worth it? It ain't worth it. I can tell you it's not worth it. Every day I think about it, I think, no. Don't even think about backsliding. That's out of the question. But he went through some changes during this process. Don't you get it twisted. He said, when he had spent everything that he had, and you're going to spend up everything real quick because the devil didn't give you nothing to begin with. So all of it's going to be gone in a moment. And the church is going after it wholeheartedly. They're just making passes in the church and hooking up with sin and inviting all the sinners into the church. It's unbelievable to me. And it says, but when he lost everything, he started being in want. I need something. I know I've been there. What is going on? Why am I so depressed? Why am I so down? Of course I knew, because I was raised in church all my life. I knew because I wasn't serving God and I didn't give my life to him. That's why I was so miserable. Crying every day. Depressed. Pregnant and depressed. Charles come and said, what's wrong? I don't know. He said, I'm tired of being pregnant. Well, quit getting pregnant. That's how you resolve that. But it really wasn't pregnant. It was everything but that. Going through all these changes. Coming home dissatisfied, down in the dumps. Can't get it together. This is a miserable way to live my life. I don't want to live like this. You know what we did? We sought out new lovers. That's what we did. The church sought out new lovers. They turned their back on the true love. They began to seek out other lovers, things that they love, fallen in love with, they shouldn't have fell in love with. False gods, women, sex, one thing to another. That's what they were involved in. So, understand this. I thought, why don't we have this? I was looking at this while I was studying this message. When you get married and you come to the altar, you say your vows. It sounds something like this. Yours may be a little different. It says, when you love God, it will be from this day forward. For better, for worse. For richer or for poorer. In sickness and in health. To love, to cherish, to obey, till death do us part. Or until death, until we're together forever. Okay, he said, then they use this part in the marriage vow. I pledge thee my troth. What does that mean? Faithfulness, loyalty, honesty. It's a commitment. I pledge you my troth. Then the other word says, I also give you my plight, which means if I'm in a bad situation or an embarrassing situation or in a bad predicament, wait a minute, I'm still staying. I'm still staying. These people come to the altar and say that stuff and go on out and backslide, and get a divorce not long after. Should have never got married. You know how many people in this country that got married should have never got married? Because they didn't marry for love. They didn't pledge them they troth. No. I said that was words. Ain't long for the fool when you walk out in front of the altar, he going on out the door and don't think because you used the word obey. I'm getting ready to do everything you say. I mean, people are married for the wrong reasons. And lust brings more people together than anything. The spirit of lust. But if we made that commitment to God, I'm going to be here till death. Till I cross over on the other side and join you over there. I'm not never leaving. The church said, All the vows that was made, they broke them all. The thing that says, I love God, people testify, I love God, I'm going to serve him to the day I die. They left it alone. You heard it in here. I thank God for bringing me. I'll never leave God. I'm never going to do this. I said, yeah, right. Let's see. It don't take man long for if he doesn't get in with God, it ain't going to take him long to get out. You got to do what you got to do to be able to put yourself in a place where you're not looking at going away, but I'm rather about coming in more. If I love somebody, that's why I know they never loved him. Paul said they left because they was never of us anyway. Because had they been of us, they'd have never left. They left because they was never of God. They were here going through the motion. They were singing. They were doing all these things, but they really wasn't in. They wasn't there. And then they said, but I'm praying. You're not praying. People come here and get on their knees at prayer meeting in here and go to sleep. And then somebody passed close by and thank you, Jesus. Yes, Lord. That's not going to get it. I'm talking about praying. So that I don't never want to go away. I never want to leave home. The prodigal was in a bad position in his mind. His mind began to wonder. What would it be like if I was outside my daddy's house? What would it be like if I was my own boss? What would it be like if I go over here and do this and do that? And let me tell you something. While you're pondering that, I can tell you before you ever make a move, it'll be the worst move you ever made in your life. Well, it couldn't be that bad. It's that bad and worse. It's that bad and worse. But when you love somebody, you don't leave. The beginning of the journey, there are stages in walking with God that we go through, and some along the journey, we have uphill climbs, breezy trails, slippery slopes, and everything in between. You're going to run into all this stuff, but it doesn't matter what I run into. Paul said, I'm already persuaded. Nothing going to separate me. I'm not leaving God. I'm staying with God. He went through a lot of persecution and suffering, but he still said, I'm not leaving. That's what you got to look at. I'm not leaving. I don't care what I have to go through. I don't care what it's like. It can't get that bad. It can't get that bad. If you really have somebody that you really love, you want to spend time with them. There's probably not a man or woman in this church that's married, that's got a decent marriage, that don't want to spend time with their mate. You want to spend some time. Well, I got a problem with it when it becomes more important than God. I can spend time with you, but I need to shut it off and go get along with just you and God. I was telling somebody today on the phone, I said, you know what? My husband highly respected me and where my place was with God. He never interfered. He never tried to intrude on me and God's time, ever. Never. I mean, he was so well together. A lot of people may not never see that, but I had it in my marriage, and he never got in the way. He never was there trying to get in. Well, Rose, what about me? And what about this stupid crap? Because I don't have time to sit up and explain to you about you. I need time with God, and I need this time regardless of what you think. I can be with you anytime. I need God time if I expect to make it. A person that loves you will be happy for your place with God. They're not trying to pull you down. The people that try to pull you down, they don't love you because God is good for you. God makes us better. So while we're in the church and while we're doing what God called us to do, don't look away and get sidetracked by relationships with everybody else except God. No. The closest relationship I got is with him. I'm not getting ready to let anything get in the way of that. My husband's no longer here. I have it all by myself now. And that's fine. My bed is all on that whole side, is lined up with everything I need. If God speaks to me in the middle of the night, my Bible, my dictionary, my tablet, my pens, my markers, everything is present. So if I need to write down a message, if God speaks to me in the middle of the night, I can do it. Everything's available. That used to be Charles' side of the bed. Well, I just replaced that with God sleeping over here now. He's the one that's talking to me. He talked to me when he was here. He wasn't on that side of the bed, he's on my side. But you know what? You better understand something. If you allow yourself to get into this place where you start looking back and thinking back, if you start thinking, boy, we used to have the fun in the world, didn't we? That ain't no good thought. With you being saved, nothing that you ever did should give you any joy. You're looking back talking about that's what you remember, girl, we used to do so. What's wrong with you? I can't compare that with what I got today. That prodigal son would never have outside his father's home what he had in the home. He got hungry. Then he started thinking about, boy, my dad got some food there. What am I getting ready to do? Eat the hog slop. That's what the church has done. They are no longer eating from the table of God. They are eating from the hog pen, because that's where they are. That's where the sin is. That's where they have found themselves dug in. They're eating hog slop. And you wonder why the church is messed up? You wonder why people ain't got no victory? Wonder why there's no power? That's why. The diet is wrong. But that's all the devil going to give you. He going to give you slop. See, he almost wanted to fill his stomach with the husk that the hogs were eating. He was hungry. That wasn't just a natural hunger. It's much deeper than that. But I'm hungry. And where are you at? Where are your friends that you parted with? Where's all the people you left with? I say when backsliders talk about me and this church, they talk about it because they can't be here. They can't be here. Sin continually increased. The longer you're in it, the more you sin. You begin to deteriorate over a period of time. And it doesn't take long. But if I continue to put myself in the place where God is, then my life is going to be full. It's going to be rich. I don't want to go out like that. I want to have it together. When you're almost to the end of your life, wow. In all my life, I appreciated God. I appreciated more than ever because I'm near the end of my life. And I'm settled. You can't root me up. There's no storm that could take me out. He said, after you have suffered a while, then will I establish you and settle you in me. I suffered a while, a long while. But let me tell you, Paul said, it's not worthy to be compared. The sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared when you compare to the glory that's going to be revealed in us. You know what? Everybody up left home and mama cooked some good food. There'll come a time and say, boy, I wish I could get some of mama's greens. Wish I could get some of mama's cornbread if she cooked right. And it was something that you enjoyed. When you leave home, you reminisce about that. What did the father have at home that the prodigal said, my father got servants enough and food enough to spare, and I perish with hunger? Now you're looking at the fact, why did you make that move? But he didn't want that at first. He parted, he lived it up, he blew his inheritance. As the church is doing it today, they're blowing their inheritance. It's gone. They don't have no power. As I was saying this morning, they can't come to the church and get healed and delivered anymore because preachers have no power. There's no power. Because this is what's going on. At the end of the day, you start thinking, it used to be so good. How did I go here? The minute you backslide and leave God, for sure, you're going to be thinking about this. I wish I had not left. I wish I'd have stayed. That's why he said he came to himself. Every backslider comes to themselves. Everyone. Some of them will never make it back to God. Some will. Some of them are never going to get back. But you know what? If I am determined to not follow the crowd, don't follow the crowd. When the whole mega churches is crazy and doing all this crazy stuff, I don't want to be there. Sometimes I look at them on TV and I thought, you don't even have a prayer life. This one boy is on Jimmy Swaggart's program, because I have the spirit of discernment. Let's be discerned whether I'm here with you all watching something. And I watch this young man, he's just blowing his harmonica. His hands looks nasty. I thought, where are your hands, man? I'm sitting there looking at the TV. Ain't nobody going to bother you. Ain't nobody going to tell you that you shouldn't do that. Nobody's going to say, what are you into? Nobody's going to ask you, do you have a prayer life? They sing to death. Sing, sing, sing. But it's going to take more than singing to get to the kingdom. And so, they love to sing and play the guitar. And I just begin to go over all of them like, nobody will ever tell you that you shouldn't do that. Is anybody asking you, how's your prayer life? No. Nobody. That's why I said, when you in the church and you got a leader that's in touch with God and looking out for your soul, you better thank God every day. Every day. You got to understand, I don't have to be the prodigal. I'm not going to be. I can make that up in my mind. I'm just going to do what's right. You know what right is? You can do it when somebody's there. You can do it when they ain't there. If you're right in here, it's the same whether you got somebody in your presence or not. You have to worry about me going home and, who's at my door? Wait a minute. What you waiting on? No, not right now. Close my bedroom door. Can you imagine? My family have the code to get in my house whenever they get ready. I'm saved whether they there or not. I never got to say, you have to let me know when you're coming. I don't want nobody to come over for the next few hours. Ooh, what's wrong, Mama? I'm going to take a nap. Ain't getting ready to take no nap. Getting ready to get into devilment. How can you live your life like that? That's a miserable way to live. When P and Junior used to, it was P's house. Check this out. It was P's townhome. Junior was living with him. He tells P, don't come up here to this house before you call. Let me know you're coming. Well, he had whores crawling in and out the windows. And the neighbors watching saying, they coming out of the window and in the window. So don't come up here before you call. I said, that's your house. You got to call to let him know you coming to your house? Oh, something's wrong. The neighbor says, I thought he was a preacher. Yeah. He left that long time ago. I thought, God, I'd have been scared God would have killed me. I'm not doing none of that stuff. Do you have any fear of God? That you don't have to, some kind of way, sneak around to cover up your life because somebody may find it out. If you ain't hid nothing, you ain't got to worry about nobody finding nothing. If your life is above board, you don't got to worry about anything. I live it every day of my life, no matter what happens. You will find Sister Rose the same at home. I don't go to the store, but at home. No matter where you see me. We got to have realness here. That I'm not thinking nasty thoughts, evil thoughts. See, the Lord is the portion of mine inheritance. How do I keep it if I don't have him? He's the one that gives it to me. He supports my lot. Giving thanks to the Father who has qualified us to share in the inheritance of the saints. I thank you because you gave me an inheritance. We didn't have anything. We didn't even have a name. We were a people. He adopted us into the royal family, whereby now we cry, Abba, Father. He gave me something. He gave me a name. He brought me in. I couldn't work for that or merit that in any way. He pull me in because he loved me. Instead of your shame, Isaiah said, you will have a double portion of your shame. You will have a double portion, and instead of humility, they will shout for joy over their portion. They will possess a double portion in their land. Everlasting joy will be theirs. You will always be able to have more and to shout, have joy, peace of mind, all these things. Your inheritance gives you that. You're going to blow it? Not good. See, we have obtained an inheritance, having been predestined according to his purpose, who works all things after the counsel of his will. We were predestined before I was born. I'm making way for you, Rose. I know you're going to serve me. I'm providing for you. That's what he's doing for everybody. He who troubles his own house will inherit wind. And that's what the church is doing today. They inherit wind. It's not nothing. It's not giving them anything. They're messed up. See? I hope you think for a while, when you look at the TV, if you look at the TV when preachers are on, stop for a minute and look at the sickness. All these people. And to me, you got so many people that you're leading astray. You pulled away from God. You've shown them how to leave their inheritance. It's all gone. You don't have it. All you do, the only thing you're trying to inherit is their money. You don't care if they don't make it. You don't care if they go to hell. It's got to be more than that. But these preachers, it's unbelievable. I'm going to always read the scripture before I go to bed at night because I want to go to sleep with the word in my mind. I thought you were going to wake up in hell with it. You sure will. You ain't got nothing special going on. Oh, I take communion every day. So what do you get out of it? If you ain't living right, why are you taking it? So listen to this. God said, I want you, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the reward of the inheritance, and it is the Lord Christ whom you serve. We inherited this and became heirs and joint heirs with Christ. Because now I want to give you what you ordinarily would not have had. We are so blessed. You know, when you adopted, you're not really an heir. You can be made one, but rightfully you're not one. He brought us in. And how do you just walk away? How did the church just turn their back on them and say, forget this, and they're gone? Don't want it anymore. Have no need for it. And I tell you for sure, everybody who ever went away and left home, they got regrets about it. They got regrets. I regretted times when I left home and I was in a hurry to get out. I soon found out, boy, this is a tough world out here. It's hard. Now I understand my grandmother, what she was saying. You will never appreciate the gospel as much as you would if you leave this building. It ain't the building, it's God. You leave God, you start thinking, wow, I had it so good. A lady was in our church one time, Gilda. I know a lot of y'all probably remember her from Germany. She was nutty as a fruitcake. And she had the most envious, jealous spirit of this pastor. She wanted everything I had, the way I had it, everything. And she left the church and went to California and got a job, and everything she thought she wanted when she was here and didn't have, she went to California, she got all of it. A year or two later, she came back completely lost with nothing, lost without God. She said, you know, Sister Rose, all that time, I felt like I'd had to have what I saw you with, and when I got it, I was miserably unhappy. I said, that's not where God is. God is not in things. It's not in things. So when you're trying to sell out and give up your right, your spiritual right, your spiritual inheritance, and leave, nothing out there in that world is going to suffice. There are no substitutes. You'll never find a good substitute. Because Jesus cannot in any way be anything less to you than what he is. And out there, substitutes don't work. You deteriorate. You find yourself falling away. That's what the church did. We lost our power. We lost our anointing. We can't see. We don't hear God anymore. Everything is gone. So when you look at this, I'm concerned about how many souls are going to hell. Look at it. These are mega churches, thousands and thousands of people. That's amen in these dead preachers that condemns you if you don't give them all your money. It's horrible. And they look so, if you look in their faces, they look like, do you not see? No. Because when you go away, you can't see, you can't hear. When people backslide, I can go to them and say, you know the devil's doing it. They never hear me. If I say such and such a thing, they never hear me. Never hear. You know why? Because they're too far away. They keep moving farther and further away. Stop the devil in his tracks right now. I'm not going anywhere. This is my life. You can come and bring me anything you want to. I'm not letting it go. I'm not letting it go. I'm not going away from God. I'm coming toward God. I'm not going to let you lead me down some stray path somewhere. I'm not doing it. That's not my life. And if you've ever tasted of it, you should never want to throw that taste away. That's a good thing. I've tasted of him and saw that he was good. And I continued to get more and more because it was so good. This is the most beautiful life in the world. And you wish that every person on the planet would find out. Well, we got so many people leaving the church. They said right up on I was reading online the other day, they said churches all over America, people are leaving in droves. And they say because people are saying they're not getting anything. The church is not church. They say some of your mega churches is losing hundreds and hundreds of members. Every time church is, they're walking out. Because there's nothing here. I'm just bored. And they're up there telling you, I don't need a person to tell me how to start a business. That ain't got nothing to do with going to heaven or hell. I don't need your seminar for that. Just tell me about how I can get to heaven. What is it going to take? Are you concerned about my soul? Are you leading me away from God rather than to him? That's what's happening. They're taking you away. I say to this church, and I've said it before, you better dig down as deep as you can dig. Because I was telling some of the preachers I was talking to the other day, I said, you know what? The persecution coming upon the churches in years to come, if you ain't united, you're not going to make it. Because they coming hard against the true church. These other churches, they endorsing them. But the true church, you haven't seen attack from the enemy to try to destroy you. That's why you need to dig down. Get everything you can get now. Everything. Sister Rose has spent her life for you. Giving you truth. Giving you truth to, God, please help these people make it. That's my prayer every day. Lord, don't let them go to hell. Please help these people. You don't want to know. I would never know you went to hell, but while I'm living, I'm thinking, please don't throw it away. Y'all have had more teaching than the average church. It's the truth. You know how to fight. The Lord sent messages telling you how to defeat the enemy, how you can beat him down. He don't have to beat you down. He has sent everything to this church you could possibly need. If you lose it, there's no hope. I'm going to apply this. I tell my family sometimes, write the things I'm telling you down in a journal. Refer back to them when I'm gone. Check it out. So you don't, at least you forget. That if you don't hang in there and hold on to it and keep digging down. I dug down way back 53 years ago and I have a good, solid foundation, nothing can shake me or loose. No matter what happens, I'm not upset with God. I'm worshiping him. I'm praising him. In spite of all the things I may have faced in my life, nothing has been so bad, nothing, that I didn't enjoy my life with God. People listen to every message coming across the pulpit. Don't go away, come back in. Don't leave God. Don't go out there and party. We partied down last night. Partying ain't no fun. I tried a tad of it, hated every minute of it. Partying. Smoke burning your eyes. Everybody was smoking. Looked just like hell in that club. I'm thinking, wow. Everybody's loose but me. I'm glad I didn't fit, because God had another plan for me. I didn't even know it at the time. Don't fit. No matter what I do, I don't fit. I don't fit in the club. I don't fit. The smoke burns my eyes. And my sister and Charles, he was beating on the table with his whiskey bottle. Talking, baby, let it go. I think I ain't letting nothing go. I'm scared. I'm glad I never lost the fear of God. People lose the fear of God, you'll do anything. I mean, no, I'm scared. Can't do it. Got to get out this club. Same way it was when I went to the movies with my husband. Went there to see The Dirty Dozen with Lee Marvin. Never forget it if I live to be 100. Went up in there. God's pulling on me and I'm pulling back. I got in that theater and everybody's in tune to the movie. I'm thinking, I'll go to hell if I don't get right. Boy, I got to get saved. I don't know what Lee Marvin and any of them folks was talking about. And John said, what's wrong with you? Why are you so restless? I said, I got to get out of here. He said, Rose, I spent my money. You stay in here and watch this movie. Get out of here. Didn't fit. If you don't fit, thank God you don't fit. Thank God. I fit with the righteous. I fit with God. I fit with what he called me to do. That's all that matters. All the time. Now, when I look back on it, I understand why I didn't fit. This is where I fit. To serve God. I was born for this purpose. Born, called for this. And I'm fulfilling it. And sooner than later, I'm going to check off this planet. I wake up every day just thinking, wow, if he came today, how happy I would be. How happy I would be. Sometimes I go in there and look at that picture that was painted for us when Mount had that dream. And there's Daddy and Nita and Juana standing there. Sometimes I stand there and say, I'm coming home to you. Every day. I'm coming home. I live for that day. You say, Sarah, well, I don't mind dying. I ain't kind of looking forward to it right now. Let me tell you, the world's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. I'm glad I don't have to stay here. Well, Juana used to say, Mama, I wish I was your age, and I know I would be out of here. I wouldn't have long left. Little did she know. You didn't have to get my age. You out of here. In a moment. And her life, her dedication, her commitment to God, there's no doubt. No doubt. And what he has done for us in the process. I'm more homesick now than I ever been in my life. God, when you keep losing things, you want to leave. You keep losing things. Losing not God, but things, people, situations. Yes. I talk about it every day. When I was young, I ain't thinking about heaven, not right now. So you're young, you're not going to think about it, but keep on living. Keep on living. But don't let nobody pull you away from God. Say, I'm going to make it. I don't care if my wife don't go, my husband don't go, my children, my friends. I don't care who don't go. I got to make it. People, you got to make it if nobody makes it. Live that way every day, that if death would come today, you know without a doubt that you're going to be saved. You didn't leave God. You never wanted to leave him. I'm content with this. Please. Paul said, I know after my departing, many shall come in to you and defile and deceive many. It'll be up to you to say that's not what we were taught. I'm not receiving that. If it ain't the truth from here, because when I preached it from here. This is where it is, right here. Don't be a prodigal. You can be a prodigal at any day. You got to determine, no. Learn from the man's experience. See what happened to him? Well, if you do it, the same going to happen to you. Don't want to do that. Oh. One day, you'll wish, boy, how much I need a fast. And Sister Rose, she would call them. That would make me have to do it. You better start calling them for yourself. I don't even have to call it. You need to call it. Get accustomed to calling it for yourself. Nobody tells me when to fast. I know I got to do it. And everything that he's ever promised me, everything, he's worked it out. I remember when I started asking the Lord about escalating the journey, and my children were concerned about me. He said, Mama, you know, you be so tired on Sundays, and I never eat on Sunday anyway. You be so tired on Sunday. Mama, how you going to do it? And when he came to me that night, said, what I put in you, you can do anything you want to do. That put their mind at ease. So let me go past that. It's always, give me more. Give me more. You know, I think I'm doing pretty good. You see, but I fasted last week 3 days. Really? I think that's good. And you need it worse than anybody. It's the person that's complaining about it, the one that needs it the worst. See? Ain't no such thing as that you fast and then you just stop and go on. No, that's what you're going to be doing till you get to the kingdom. If you don't, you may not make it. The old saints used to say, if you don't fast, you won't last. If you don't pray, you won't stay. And it's the God-sent truth. God bless you. Stand to your feet.
There is peace at the foot of the cross. There is peace at the foot of the cross. Oh, you just lay down your burdens. Lay down your way. Lay down everything at the foot of the cross. Oh, yes. There is joy at the foot of the cross. Oh, yes, there is. There is joy at the foot of the cross. Oh,